Hello. So I'm just doing my read aloud rationale and my reaction and I guess reflection. So the book that I chose to read aloud was How Santa Got His Job, um, and I definitely chose it. Well, the first reason why I chose it was because it's around Christmas time or holiday time, and when I get my own classroom, I and when I do read alouds, I want to choose books that um, not only like teach the kids something, but also that are in, I guess, in season, just to kind of get them a little bit more excited for the seasons and all that. Not necessarily for Christmas in general, just because I know that some of the kids in school don't celebrate Christmas, um, but the holiday time the kids get really excited about. So it's just something that that'll get them more interested in it. And then the reason why I chose a specific book was it was just kind of um, explaining all the jobs that Santa did um, in the lead up to becoming actual Santa Claus. And I wanted it to be used as a thinking opportunity for the students to maybe think about their teachers and how like the things they did um, and their path to becoming a teacher. Because what I told, I wasn't actually with students. I didn't have access to a classroom, unfortunately. I was super sad about that. But what I was telling the students was that not all teachers that always wanted to be a teacher. They did a lot of other things in their lifetime. So it was just kind of how you use your past experiences to help you do a lot better in your current place. Um, and I think that I didn't want to keep redoing it to get everything perfect. I wanted my first read aloud to be my read aloud, just so I can actually use a real reflection and actually find some things that were a problem with it, because there definitely were problems with it. And I think that the main thing that I had a problem with was like engaging all the different learners. I didn't really do anything that was specific towards, say, if I had like kids with IEPs in my class. But I guess I just have a mindset where all of my kids are going to be special education, and they're all going to have IEPs. Um, so I kind of didn't really do a good job. I don't think engaging all of the different learners. I kind of just read the book and then asked general questions. Um, and I definitely did incorporate academic learning language. Well, I guess I just asked them to think about things and analyze things. And I also asked them when we did the picture walk. I was asking them to use the pictures as foreshadowing for what we were going to read. Um, and I think that I need to how I'm going to incorporate more academic language is probably doing less just reading and maybe doing more connections back to concepts learned in the classroom. Um, so my preset group of questions, I did not actually come up with a preset group of questions. I kind of just came in with an idea of where I was going to ask the questions and um, the types of, um, and I guess the types of themes that were being presented. But yeah, I think it would have been a lot better if I actually wrote down a bunch of questions and exactly where I needed to answer them. And I think that that was the biggest like aha moment for me in doing the read aloud, was that I did not really know that there was that many things that went into a read aloud. Um, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. Um, so I'm not gonna. So I guess for the how did the children interfere or interrupt with my reading? I didn't have any students in this class, but I had to do a read aloud um, for I think my first or second class in my program. I think it might have been for SPD 600. I had to do a read aloud, and I actually had student, like a group of students I was working with for the summer, so I was able to read to them. And I guess using them as an example, I didn't. They were really interested in the story. They didn't interrupt at all. They didn't interfere. I guess the only time they like interrupted was just to ask questions, but I wouldn't even call that interrupting. I guess I would just call that participation. Um, and if I ever did get an interruption, I would try to just try to use an interruption as a time to ask a question. So if a student was going to interrupt a lot during a reading or interfere with the reading, I would just have them ask a question every time they interrupted, so then it would be productive. I think that's what I would do. Um, and I guess I didn't specifically do anything to provide for like the SEL of the students or special needs students, just because that's always just I guess implied when I teach, because I'm always around special ed students and that's all I know. So I think that I don't really do anything specifically, but I know that I focus on the SEL of the students, and I know that I focus on the special needs students. But I need to actually get some help on what I can think about specifically to do. Um, yeah. So some strengths and challenges. 100% like I said, I think some strengths I had were um, I'm really good at reading, I think, out loud and getting the students interested in the reading. I try to like change my voice a little bit. I try to um, I guess get my voice animated and not just change of tone. And then I think the challenges 100% were just I did not know that there were so many things that went into a read aloud, because I remember getting read to when I was in middle school or elementary school, and I just thought that the teacher picked up the book and started reading it to us. I didn't know that there was a whole like curriculum involved or all these questions planned, and everything like that. So I think that on my next read aloud, the thing I really want to do differently to improve is just really have a group of students with me, because I don't. It's hard for me to really reflect on this and know what my strengths and weaknesses really are, because I didn't have a group of students in front of me. So that's the biggest thing I need to do to improve from a next read aloud. And I think that I didn't really learn too much about myself as a teacher just because I didn't have students in front of me. But I think that the read aloud was great, and I can't wait to do it again because it's super. I mean, it's just fun. I like to read to kids, and I like to pick different books for them. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for listening.